One comment from yesterday.
What?
One comment from yesterday.
Sure.
You remember we're talking about people that eat like an animal? You saw that video?
Yeah.
So if they eat the whole animal one time, and they're not tearing the limb off the animal when they do it, then it's still alive, like an octopus, for example. Is that, would that
You eat
be...
it in one go. Is that called ever minachai?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't tear a limb, they just eat the whole thing while it's alive. That's what you're saying.
Correct. And the question is, does that apply only to like a behemoth, or does it apply to any living creature?
That's a shaila. That's a shaila. Actually, the Rishonim discussed ever minachai by goyim if it applies only to kosher behemoths, also to non-kosher. Some say it applies even to non-kosher animals, because for Jews, ever minachai only applies to a behemoth that requires shchita. Shchita is the opposite of ever minachai. When you shecht an animal, you come out of the mitzvah of ever minachai. That's in Chulin throughout the whole thing. Yeah. For goyim, the Meiri brings down that even for non-kosher animals there is also ever minachai, and some say even shrotzim. Even sea animal, even seafood, even sea creatures which they tend to eat alive, there are those that say it's also, there are those that say it's not. Now, if you eat the whole thing in one go, so then you enter a question of, like in Hilchas Brachos, when you bite, the first bite he gives, then the animal is alive. As he's biting the first part, like one tentacle out of 8, so then at that very moment the animal is still alive in his mouth. So the chayr it is ever minachai, unless you consider the whole achila as one action. So that's along this a question which some people in the Far East have to deal with. But I wouldn't try it at home. But that's a good point. Okay, weiter. We're definitely involved on the base. Our second shir regarding mitzvahs bnei Noach. So, yeah. Okay. We're actually in the middle of the involvement base, and the word starts with dinin. In the white lines, go to a line starts with the word ilema. Ilema kedarka. Get it? Ilema kedarka ba'atanu. Lemuti shelo kedarka. We said yesterday that there are 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach. There are 7 Noachide laws, 7 mitzvahs that apply to all humanity, not only to Jews. Right? Who remembers? What are they? The halachos? There are 7 of them, right? Each one learns from a different word. Vayitzav Hashem Elokim Esodam Limor Mikol Etzagan Toichav. Yeah. So we said that Vayitzav is dinin. Yeah. Din is a mitzvah, and then Yitzav is Bonov. Hashem is Birkas Hashem, not to Chalila curse HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Elokim is Elokim and not Elohim Acherim. Lemor we learned from another pasuk means what? Means all kinds of sexual conduct that's forbidden for Jews. Most of it is also for Goyim, with slight variations. And Mikol Etzagan, you should eat Mikol Etzagan, that's asking for permission, lo gezel, right? Achol tochel ever min achai. Okay? So, okay, which one am I missing? So we said by Tzav there are dinim. Well, so we said there is dinim, there is no avodah zarah, no birkas Hashem, gezel, arayas, shfichus domim. Where do we learn shfichus domim? From al ha'odom. Sorry, that's what I missed. Al ha'odom, shfichus domim, and then we have ever minachai. Okay. Then we discuss the parameters of avodah zarah. There are other opinions, very good. There are other opinions that say they're not allowed to be involved with any witchcraft of all sorts, and also not to breed new types of animals or new types of plants, which puts genetical engineering in a question. This is not halacha shir, we're not being practical, we're just talking about the ideas from the Gemara. Okay, now the Gemara asks a question. The question is, dinim, bnei Noach, if good, is it true that dinim we said is what? Is the fact that Goyim should have some kind of judicial system. People should not just be able to do as they wish, and they should have a system of dinim. There's no machlokes rishonim. What does that apply to? Those dinim, according to the Rambam, that court of Goyim should be able to deal with Goyim who transgressed the other 6 dinim only. but they're not supposed to have any monetary laws. Yeah, necessarily. They're not meant to, except for not to steal. Yeah, other than that, I don't know, if one guy, let's say, holds back the money of another guy in a way that's not theft, maybe that's allowed. I don't know, there are no dinim about that, possibly. Other Rishonim argue in the Rambam. The Ramban, for example, says no. The Ramban says the goyim should also have a system of monetary laws in general, their own system. They should have some kind of system. So now the Gemara asks the question: Dinim b'nei Noach. If good, is it true that b'nei Noach were commanded on the dinim b'atanya? We see a braysa that seems to be not like that. It says Eser mitzvos nitztav Yisrael b'moro. We all know that Bnei Yisrael got the Torah in Sinai, in Mount Sinai, but it's not exactly true. They did get it then, but before that in Marah, after they crossed the Red Sea, and before they got to the mountain, to Har Sinai, there were 10 commandments that were mitzvah in Mo, in a place where the water was bitter. Marah means bitter. There's a place where the water was bitter, and then, Hashem showed Moshe Rabbeinu a piece of wood, threw it into the water, it became sweet, became drinkable, and then that place is called Marah. And Bnei Yisrael were commanded the 10 different mitzvahs over there. What are those mitzvahs? Sheva shekiblu alein bnei Noach. The Sheva mitzvahs of Bnei Noach were the ones that Bnei Yisrael were commanded there in Morah. And on top of those, they added additional, different mitzvahs, dinim, the Shabbos, the Kibbud Avim. Yeah, dinim are dinim, the monetary laws. Shabbos is Shabbos, and respecting, honoring one's father and one's mother. So those three things were added onto the Sheva mitzvahs Bnei Noach. So you get it? So in Morah, they were commanded the Sheva mitzvahs Bnei Noach, plus another three. What are these other three? Dinim, Shabbos, and respecting your dad and mom. These are the three additional things besides the Sheva mitzvahs Bnei Noach. So altogether they got 10 mitzvahs in Morah that's before Har Sinai. Interesting.
One of the seven laws.
Excuse me? The what?
Was it honor your father and mother, one of the seven laws?
Is honoring one's parents one of the 7 Noachide laws?
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, we didn't mention it anywhere yesterday.
No.
Your question should be different.
I know you didn't mention it.
And it's not? No, it's not. There is a reason why a guy should respect his parents, but let's leave that aside for now. Your question should be different. Your question should be dinim. Why are you telling me that dinim are added to the 7 Noachide laws? Dinim is one of them. That's a Gemara's question. That's a glaring question. And that's a Gemara's question. You're telling me that the Sheva mitzvahs Bnei Noach plus dinim, Shabbos, and respecting parents. But dinim is one of the 7. That's a Gemara's question. He was first, I'm sorry.
So
question
that's
time.
a kasha on the Rambam then.
What?
That's a kasha on the Rambam.
True. It's also Shver in the Rambam. Very good. Yes, that's what we're following the Rambam right now. Yeah.
We also know that a guy keeps Shabbos is deserving of death, so why would it add to that?
That's actually not difficult, because we said the Sheva mitzvahs Bnei Noach plus Shabbos, which they're not commanded on. No, that's good actually. But that's not a question. Sorry.
But I'm not understanding. We said
Unless I misunderstood you again.
No, we said we had the 7 Sheva Bnei Noach, and we said 3 additional ones that they're chayav on, right? We're saying
No, the Jews got in Morah.
I'm sorry.
As Jews.
Okay, I got it.
Jews. Yeah. Okay. So then, Dinin, how do you know that these are the 3 additional extra mitzvahs that got in Morah? Dinin, Dichtiv, Sham, Samloi, Choit, Umishpat, Sham, there, over there, the pasuk describing Morah, over there, Hashem placed him, bestowed upon him, the Chok Umishpat. Chok Umishpat means law and order. Very good. Shabbos, V'kibud Avim, Dichtiv, Kasher, Tzivcha, Hashem Elokecha. It says in the second luchos, the second time that the 10 commandments are mentioned in Dvarim, Deuteronomy, over there it says, Kasher tzivcha Hashem lokecha, Hashem, but both mitzvahs of Shabbos and Kibbud Avim, it says, Hashem is telling you to do that like He told you previously. When's previously? When else did we get the mitzvahs? Must be in Morah. We know that there was some kind of mini Matan Torah in Morah, so must be as He commanded you before, means then in Morah, He gave you Shabbos and Kibbud Avim, and then repeated it in the big scene in Sinai. The Omar Rav Yehuda, the Omar of Yehuda, Kasher Tzivcha b'Morah, as we said before, Tzivcha means He commanded you in Morah. Yeah, so you get the question. So I have 2 questions. Really, I have 2 questions now. I have the Gemara's question, and I have a question by the Rishonim. The Gemara asks the question, what do you mean, this Sheva mitzvahs Noach plus dinim? Yeah? Dinim are included. I would ask you the question, why did they have to have the 7 mitzvahs Bnei Noach repeated? Aren't we also Bnei Noach? Up until Matan Torah, the Jews were Bnei Noach. So why do you have to repeat the Sheva mitzvahs? They were anyway commanded from the times of Adam on those Sheva mitzvahs, right? That's a question. Get it? Why does Hashem have to repeat those mitzvahs that already existed from time immemorial? So the answer is that mitzvahs Bnei Noach that were not repeated in the Torah or for us as a nation would not be obligating us, wouldn't be mechayev us. A Jew only has to do what he has to do from the time of Matan Torah. But everything from before is basically erased. Okay? That's the answer. I mean, it's not the answer to the worst question, it's an answer to the other question. They have to sort of renew the contract of Sheva Mitzvahs Bnei Noach, now accepting it as Jews. Because as Jews we're like a newborn baby, that's it, everything from before, it's like a mass gerus, mass conversion, and everything is doing it, and therefore we need the 7 mitzvahs now. But still the question of the Gemara is still there. Amar Nachman, the Gemara is going to give a few attempts, a few tries to answer the question. Amar Nachman, Amar Abba Bavua, Lo nitzracha ela le'eda ve'edim ve'asra, which means Ada, how many people are there in the Jewish court? We said Ada, it says Ada, that is 10 people, and again it says 10 people. The Shio Ada, the Tzilo Ada, remember it says the word Ada twice, it's 20. You cannot have a court with an even number, so we have to add 1, but that's not good enough because you need a majority of more than 11 people. So we come up with 23 at the end. There was a cheshbon which we made many times at the beginning of the Masechta. The kids to have Ada of 23 and also have 2 Adim and have Hasra, all those details of the way the judicial system works, that was something new that was given to the Yidden, to the Jews. Yeah, get it? In other words, they got the Sheva Mitzvahs Bnei Noach to have some kind of judicial system and monetary laws, and the way that system should work is something unique to the Jews that was added on top, and that is to have 23 people. A Goy does not need 23 people to judge him. According to the Torah, even if you have one judge, like the Goyish court today, Lahavdil, yeah? You have one judge, one Goyish judge can actually judge the other Goy just the same. Okay? So we don't need 23. So the unique point that was added to us on top of the 7 is the way it works. The numbers, the system, having 23, having 2 Adim, having no straw, and a Goy doesn't need that. The Goy can be killed without a straw, v'chule v'chule. Yeah?
Why 23, not 71 or 3?
We've been through that. Okay, I can explain why 23, because we said it says Ada twice. We know that the word Ada means 10 people. We know it from the story of the Meraglim. Okay, so we have Ada. The word Ada appears twice regarding Beis Din. Yeah, it says V'hitzilu ha'eda v'yoshiu ha'eda. Yeah, that's in Bamidbar Pasuk Perek Chafei Lamed Hey.
Hashem said to Moses, take 70 elders, plus yourself like 71.
That is for a great Beis Din.
Yeah.
Not for a regular Beis Din, for any Joe Shmo. I'm talking about a regular Beis Din, not the High Court in Yerushalayim. That's 23. 10 and 10, you can't have an even number. You had 1 is not enough. Okay, Ihachi. Okay, so that's the answer for now. Yeah, what are we adding? We're adding the numbers and the way the system works. Ihachi, if so, dinim. Why do you say that they added dinim? They didn't add dinim, they added laws for the dayanim. To add dinim sounds like you add the actual law. This is not the law, this is the way the system works. Dinim sounds like you have to add a law, some kind of monetary law that didn't exist there before. So the words of Sifu Aleim Dinim, that they added more dinim, more laws, more rules, doesn't really give you the right answer here, right? Because you're talking about creating the system and the number of the dayanim, not the dinim. Okay? Ela Omar Rava, says Rava, you know what's the thing that they added that was unique to the Jews and not to the Goyim from before? Lo nitzracho ela ledinei chnosois. That's dinei knosos. Dinei knosos, what are knosos? Anybody with a good memory? What's a knas? You get in the knas from the city hall of Beit Shemesh. What's the knas? The fine. What does it mean? What's really unique about a fine? That there's no logic between the offense and the number, right? In other words, I didn't steal from the area 250 shekels when they give me a knas of 250 shekels. It's a fine, it's a fixed price, you know, you were naughty. But this idea apparently appears in the Torah. For example, if somebody's bull gored a person, he has to pay a certain amount of money according to the value of the person. And if you gored the person's what's his name, the person's slave, then he has to pay a fixed price of shloshim, of 30 units of money. Okay, that's a knas. It's a fixed price that has nothing to do with the actual damage. Or let's say a knas is paying double. If anybody stole anything according to the Torah, the original law of the Torah, you stole $100 from somebody, then how much do you get? You have to give back 200, an extra $100 or extra £100, extra $100. Why? Why? Because Hashem decided that besides actually giving back money, you have to have a fixed price. In other words, double in that respect. So these are the dinim that are unique for Jews and not for goyim. The Meiri says that goyim are not allowed to charge knossos. You know, that's what it means here. In other words, Rava is saying, you know, what's the unique thing that's added atop of the basic dinim of goyim? What's a hosifu? That is the knossos. Goyim are not supposed to take charge to charge fines like the Torah. Yet Goyim are only supposed to do din umishpat, because we also learned their halacha from the Yitzav, which we learned by Avraham Avinu. Tzedakah umishpat. Goyim can have a judgment of you owe him so and so, and they can also come to a pshara. They can come to Goyim, whatever, Tim McKenzie and Tom McKinley, they can come to a pshara. I think you owe me $10 million, okay, I'll do it $7 million and we'll stay good friends. Yeah, that we can do. But to just put a fine, yeah, if Tim McKenzie stole $100 to tell him to pay $200, that doesn't exist by Goyim. Okay?
Is it wrong for them to?
I think from the Meiri it's mashma that it's actually wrong to even do that. From whatever I understand. It's very obscure, all these things, I don't know why, but apparently that's a chiddush of the Torah for Jews only. Akati, the Gemara is still not happy with that. What does the word akati mean? Akati means still. I'm still unhappy. The Gemara is still not at rest with that answer. Akati v'hosifu bedinim mibailei. If you want to tell me that we're talking about knossos, the word hosifu dini means that they added a completely new law, something completely new, and osifu, but the knossos means osifu bedinim. It means that you already have a system, and they're added to the system. It should have said bedinim. Within the dinim that they had, they added one more thing. Osifu dinim sounds like something completely new that never existed before. Elo Mar Vacha Bar Yaakov, Lenitzercha, El Elohishiv Beis Din, B'chol Pelech V'Pelech, B'chol Ir Ve'ir. You know what's Osifu dinim? What kind of thing are we adding over here? We're adding the fact that there is a mitzvah in the Torah, there is a new din in the Torah, yeah? That is the din of shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha b'chol shorecha. The location and the frequency of the Beis Din has to be so that we, Jews, are mechuyav to place the Beis Din in each and every pelech. What's a pelech? A region, an area, a region. In each and every region you have to have a Beis Din, or b'chol ir ve'ir. And in each and every city, each and every town, you should also have a Beis Din. And that is a new mitzvah. This is just a perfect blend over here. This is a perfect answer, potentially. Why? Because on one hand, it's a new halacha, shoftim v'shoitrim. It's not just the order of Beis Din. It's a halacha called shoftim v'shoitrim in the Torah. And on the other hand, it's not another law in the list. It is completely different. It's not another law of don't steal, don't kill, don't this, don't that. It's a new din called having a Beis Din in each and every city, in each and every region. Now let me ask you a question. Do you have to have it in every city, in every region? Which one? So the Rishonim answer, just like in Israel, you have like a regional school, maybe in other places also, in America I guess. In other words, yeah, according to the law, you have to have X amount of schools in every city, per people, per capita, per whatever. So let's say you have a few small villages, moshavim, kibbutzim, so then you can't have a school for each and every moshav, right? So they have a few moshavim together, like here, Matei Yehuda, a few moshavim together, one of the kibbutzim, or one of the moshavim, the bigger one I guess, the school is there, and kids from all over there, you come there. The same thing applies to the judicial, to the Beis Din according to halacha. According to halacha, how many people should be in the city so that city deserves the Beis Din? City of 120 people, that's enough. 120 people is enough to have a Beis Din of 23. We made the cheshbon at the end of the first parak. If so, let's say the city has less than 120 people, yeah, such a small place, only 110, only 80, only 90, then you join a few places together, they have a Beis Din. Okay? That's b'chol pelech pelech. Also has to do with the tribes, right? Let's say you have one city, and you have in the same city is divided between Yehuda and Shimon, let's say. Yeah, look, you have cities in America, right? That are between two states, right? I've heard that's always an issue, right? So then what? So then you should have 2 Bati Dinim for each Shevet, even though it's the same city. So I have all these calculations. Oh, so maybe that's the new item, that's the new thing that we recommended and not the Goyim. The Gemara is asking, is that so? It sounds very nice, it fits very well into the text of the Brisa, but we have another problem. You're telling me that this is something unique for the Jews that was added on top of the other 7? The Bnei Noach loy ifkud. Are you sure the Bnei Noach are not commanded to have a Beis Din in each and every area and each and every city? Is that so? The Hatanya, it says in the Brisa, not like that. It says, Kashem shenitztavu Yisrael lehoishiv batei dinin b'chol pelech v'pelech b'chol ir ve'ir. Just like Yisrael are commanded to have a Beis Din in each and every area, each and every city. Kach nitztavu b'nei Noach lehoishiv batei dinin b'chol pelech v'pelech b'chol ir ve'ir. Just the same. Yeah. Whether it's Eretz Yisrael or Japan, it has to be the same system. They also have to have it in each and every place. So apparently Shoftim v'Shotrim applies to them too. Yeah. It says Rashi Titlach v'chol sharecha. Rashi explains why. Because it says Mishpat. The Shoftu es ha'am Mishpat Tzedek. The same pasuk that tells you to locate and to appoint the Yonim in each and every city, he uses the word V'shoftu Mishpat. The word Mishpat, judgment, applies to Goyim, because how do we know Goyim have to have Dinim? From the word Veitzav. And Veitzav has to do, the Maritzav is born of Achrov, Asas Tzedakah Mishpat. Avraham Avinu, the father of all nations, Abraham, we learn Veitzav, Tzav, from the Pasuk of Adam Rishon Veitzav, we learn Gzera Shavot Tzav to Avraham Avinu, but Avraham said Tzedakah Mishpat. Aha! Whenever the word Mishpat appears, that applies to Goyim too. And the word Mishpat, by the Torah, means you should have Mishpat, judgment, judicial system in each and every city. So the Goyim should have it too. So again, we're stuck. We are stuck. Yeah, how can we say that the Dinim are something unique to Bnei Noach when you see that, again, I'm repeating the question back to square one. We see the Bnei Israel came tomorrow, they were commanded by the Sheva Mitzvahs Bnei Noach, plus Dinim. So you see, Dinim is not one of the 7. With all the twists and turns, we're not managing to find an answer. Yeah, so it sounds like Dinim is not part of the 7. So that's a big question of what we said all along. Answers the Gemara, Ela Omarova. What does it mean when the Gemara says Ela? Ela Omarova. When the Gemara says Ela, rule number 1, golden rule. Ela means we completely go back, we basically revoke everything we said before. Yeah, when the Gemara says, gives a new answer, that is, we're still trying to follow the same line of thought, but with from a new direction. Ela means we gave up, we clear the screen, and we're starting anew. Yeah, Ela. Ela, Rav is answering a completely new answer. Gave up, Enochanami. It cannot be the one of the dinim is one of the 7 is dinim. So what do you do? Ela Marava, hi Tana. This brisa that spoke about tomorrow is a different Tana which disagrees with our Tana. Enochanami, it's a machlokas, the magic word machlokas. There's a disagreement between the Tanaim here. We came now into the fray of a machlokas. Tana devei Menashu. This brisa that spoke about tomorrow is the brisa from the yeshiva of Menashe, of the Tana Menashe, the Mapik Dach, the Ayil Sach. Yeah, he takes out 2 mitzvahs that we consider Sheva mitzvahs Bnei Noach, and he brings in Samichov. Is it time for a break or not yet? No? So, I will take a small break before we continue with Rav's answer. Thank you. I'm sorry. I want to relate to what Alan was asking over here. Do Goyim have to respect their parents? So l'chara, respecting one's parents is not one of the 7 mitzvahs, right? And yet we see that Dama ben Netina, the famous story which many of us heard at some stage in our lives, yeah, maybe in the kindergarten, maybe later. The Dama ben Netina, the Goy from Ashkelon, right? They were missing a gem from a good stone, a gem from the Kohen's breastplate. He didn't want to wake up his daddy, etc. So, I wish my kids would remember that story Shabbos afternoon. But they don't. Anyway, so there we see that the Goy, Dama ben Netina, was really commended very highly on the fact that he respected his father. So I read in a sefer something very interesting, some more of a shkafic idea, a philosophical idea, that Goyim were not commended on Kibud Av V'Em, but because Kibud Av V'Em is such moral basics of gratitude. And they say a person that has no gratitude is not a person, is an animal. Somebody has no gratitude, even some animals have gratitude, they remember you, but somebody that has no sense of gratitude towards his parents is like subhuman. And he brings some proofs for that. So that's such moral, such basic moral. That's why it goes without saying that they have to respect their parents. But according to what we've seen so far, although we're going to see different lists over here, so far we haven't seen it as an official one of the seven. Okay? But there is a point there that they're supposed to do it just out of basic, but you don't even have to mention it kind of thing. Your favorite Pesach. To Tana Devei Menashe, instead of the Sheva Mitzvahs Bnei Noach that we are familiar with, that we mentioned before, we have other two mitzvahs. He takes out two mitzvahs. Which ones? He takes out the mitzvah of dinim. He believes that Goyim were not commanded on dinim and were not commanded on Birkas Hashem, Kaf. And instead of that, he brings into the list different two, alternative two, and these are what? Sirus and Kilayim. Sirus is a serious business. Can't castrate yourself, can't castrate animals. No funny operations or surgeries anymore. That's it, you're not allowed to. Also, Kilayim, got out the window. Genetical engineering is a question. Sheva mitzvahs nitztavu bnei Noach. There are 7 mitzvahs in Bnei Menashe. What's Bnei Menashe? The house of Menashe, the yeshiva of Menashe. They say there were 7 mitzvahs bnei Noach, but they're different. Avodah Zarah, that's the same as before. Begilo Erayis, same as before. Shvichus Damim, same as before. By the way, what's the common denominator? Very, very, very easy question. You can answer. What's the common denominator between Avodah Zarah, Gilo Erayis, and Shvichus Damim? They are the 3. Yaregu Bal Yavo, we have a young listener over here, all the way from Manchester. And there are 3 mitzvahs that are Yaregu Bal Yavo. As we say in English, the 3 cardinal sins. These are the first 3 that apply to Goyim as well. The other ones are Gezel, theft, as we said before. Vever Minachai, no funny Chinese food of live octopuses in your mouth. No. So far so good. Now come the 2 new guys, Sirus v'Kilayim. Instead of Birkas Hashem and Dinim, he adds another 2 instead, Sirus v'Kilayim, castration and mixing the Kilayim, grafting and stuff. Rabbi Yehuda argues and says, Adam Arishon lo nitztava ela al avodah zarah bilvad. He says no. Rabbi Yehuda says Adam Arishon had 1 mitzvah only, and that is avodah zarah. Don't be involved in idol worship, and said to Shneimar vayitzav Hashem Elokim al ha'adam. In other words, it says vayitzav Hashem Elokim al ha'adam. Hashem commanded himself on the person. Hashem Keilu said, I'm the boss and nobody else. Which means, I know it may sound funny, and I'll explain to you a more philosophical idea by Rav Hirsch. Basically, Hashem told him, what did Hashem tell him? Don't eat from the fruit. He didn't say, I am God. But the idea is, V'etzav Hashem Elokim al Adam is really all about, I am in charge, I am Hashem Elokim al ha'adam. I'm above you and nobody else. I'm the only authority above you, and that's it. That's the idea of V'etzav al Adam. What comes later is just a derivative, just an outcome of that. The same as they say, Anochi Hashem Elokecha. Rav Hirsch has a very nice idea about our first mitzvah in Sinai. Anochi Hashem Elokecha. What's Hashem telling us? It's not even a commandment. It's like saying, hi, I'm Hashem. What's a commandment? And Anochi Hashem Elokecha is really, so it says in Sfarim, is the only commandment. Once you know that Hashem is the only true being that there is, and there's nobody else, then everything else already flows automatically. Everything stems from Anochi Hashem Elokecha. He's the boss, automatically anything he says goes. That's it. So the other mitzvahs are like mitzvahs, are like secondary mitzvahs to Emunah, which is Anochi Hashem Elokecha. That's why, by the way, there's another idea which I mentioned on Shavuos once. There's a difference between Ani and Anochi. There are 2 words in Hebrew for I, either Ani, more colloquial spoken word, and also Anochi. What's Anochi? Anochi comes from Anach. Anach is like, the Anach is like a measuring rod, like something to measure by. Hashem says Anochi, meaning I'm the only thing that everything else should be measured against. I'm the only ultimate value that there is Hashem's existence. That's the only thing that there is. Like, you measure everything else according to that, that's it. Nothing else, there's no other size, there's no other measurements. It's just Hashem and everything else is just encompassed by him. That's a concept of Anochi, and everything else just comes as a result. That's why the only mitzvah they heard, or the only first two mitzvahs, Anochi, Lo Elcha Lo Mecharim, are the only two mitzvahs they heard from Hashem himself. The other mitzvahs already came because he couldn't take the voice, but there's more to it. Because really, all the other mitzvahs are just an outcome of that. Once they got the very, very clear idea of Anochi, then everything else just followed through. Okay? So that's the same idea by Adam. There's one mitzvah. Let me pause for a second and tell you something very interesting. We mentioned yesterday the fact that Goyim, I don't know about today, I don't know, but Goyim in the times of Beis Din, of real Beis Din, maybe today too, I don't know, they can come to Jewish Beis Din and say, I'm accepting upon myself to be Mekayim, the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, right? And then they're called Ger Toshav. Ger Toshav is a much higher status than another Goy. He can live in Israel as much as he wants, he gets financial benefits, etc., and you treat him much nicer. It's called not a Ger Tzedek, like a real convert, it's a Ger Toshav. There's the Machlokes Rishonim, I once looked into it, between Rashi and Rambam and others, I don't remember who, about how many mitzvahs does he have to accept. Most of them say the 7. In order to become a Ger Toshav and get higher status, you have to get all 7. Others say you only have to get 3. You only have to accept upon yourself the 3 cardinal ones of the Zor Gularaz Shtichus Domim. And according to another opinion, only of the Zara. I think Rashi. Once he accepted upon himself not to worship of the Zara, that's it. Even if he didn't accept everything else, we assume he'll follow through. But to accept officially, the only one mitzvah he has to accept is just not to worship Avodah Zarah, and then he's a Ger Toshav. Yes. So so now we can see a connection that you have one opinion that says that the only mitzvah given to Adam was only Avodah Zarah, not to worship Avodah Zarah. Which I'm saying, we're just connecting it to my mind. Yes, Jason.
I have a problem with that in the sense that, I mean, they're required to accept 7, so, I mean, why are we saying now we're kind of lowering the rod that they only have to accept 1 instead of all?
Oh, no, they have to, again, very good. They have to practice all 7, right, but they have to accept that 1. In other words, by accepting not to worship Avodah Zarah, yeah, your question is being asked, it's a good question. They accept 1, and that's not worship Avodah Zarah. Then they get a green card to the halachic state of Israel once they accept it. Of course, once they're Ger Toshav, then they're meant to keep all 7. Get it? But they only have to officially accept upon themselves not to worship Avodah Zarah. Then they get the card, so to speak, that they get the in. Once they're in, they're expected to do all 7. It's like, I never became a citizen of America or other countries, because, in order to become a British citizen, you have to follow certain, orders, but you don't have to know all the rules of England. Of course, once you're a British citizen, then you have to follow the rules. But to become a British citizen, you don't have to know all the laws of England. That will take years, okay? That's the answer. Okay? So now let's continue. So according to Rabbi Yehuda, there's only one mitzvah, V'itzav Hashem Elokim ala Odom. Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira argues and says, Af al Birkas Hashem. It says Birkas Hashem, meaning since there's 2 mitzvahs, only 2 mitzvahs B'nai Noach that Adam accepted, that is what? V'itzav, that is to actually not to worship Avodah Zarah, and also Birkas Hashem. Why? Says Rashi, because it says V'itzav Hashem Elokim. Hashem Elokim are 2 names. One of them is Shloi Kollel. It says by the Kollel, remember? How do we know not to bless so to Hashem? It says Elokim lo tekalel. So Hashem is telling you not to worship Avodah Zarah, and Elokim is Elokim, not to curse the Kadosh Baruch Hu, because it says Elokim lo tekalel. V'yesh omrim, now comes the third opinion. V'yesh omrim af al hadinim. Some say about dinim. Why? The words V'itzav Hashem Elokim means 2 things. Elokim Hashem, don't chas v'sholom curse, and Elohim means dayanim. Elohim means Beis Din. So in one small sentence, half a sentence, V'itzav Hashem Elokim ala Adam, you say Hashem, I'm the boss, no cursing, and Elokim means Elohim. You have to follow some kind of Beis Din, some kind of court system too. So it's 1, 2, or 3. Obviously, all these opinions argue on what we said so far. Keman Azla had Omar. I'll continue, then I have more to add. The Gemara is asking the question now. We are, by the way, Nudvav of the base, Sanhedrin Nudvav of the base, a few lines before the bottom of the page. Keman Azla had Omar Rav Yehuda Omar Rav Elokim. Yeah, there is a statement made by Rav Yehuda Omar Rav. Is this a Tana or an Amora? Rav Yehuda Omar Rav is an Amora. Rav Yehuda quoting the Amora Rav, and it says Elokim Ani. this is not a pasuk, but this is the way he describes what Hashem told Adam. Elokim ani loy tekaleluni. I am Elokim, and therefore don't curse me. Yeah? Elokim ani lo temiruni. What's lahamir? Amarat ksafim. What's lahamir? To change, to exchange. Yeah? So then is lo temiruni. Don't change me for any other God instead of me. And Elokim ani yemoroi aleichem. You should have a moira aleichem. That is to say, you should have you should have fear. You should have awe of me. What does that mean? Not to worship a desire we already know. You know what it means to have a fear of God? Says Rashi, unbelievable. To have a judicial system. Because why don't we have a judicial system? Why is it that some societies are corrupt? Because they're scared of the thugs. They're scared of the mafiosos. We say in our Torah, lo tagur mipnei ish. It's in Shulchan Aruch. You have some kind of rough guy, unless it's Pikuach Nefesh, it's a Shiloh. But you have a dayan and you have some kind of rough guy with connections, with whatever, a guy that can set you up for life, Khalila, so then, or for death. So then, don't be scared of him. That's the idea. So Hashem is telling the Goyim also, Adam, saying all humanity, don't be scared of the big strong guy, you should only have fear of me, and therefore do the right justice. Yeah, you should have some kind of correct judicial system with no fear of the bad boys. Keman, according to who do we say that you have all these three mitzvahs? Kiyesh Omrim, obviously look, the third opinion, right? With opinion 1, 2, or 3, that's the third opinion, includes all three mitzvahs. No avodah zarah, no cursing Hashem Chalila, and having a dinim. Tana Devei Menashe. Now the Gemara is asking a question about Tana Devei Menashe, but before that I'd like to add a point. Jason mentioned before the fact that Goyim are not allowed to, and we're going to see it soon, Goyim are not allowed to keep Shabbos, and it's true. It says Goy Shabbos Chayav Misa. So there is a halacha in Shulchan Aruch that mentions the fact that it sounds like you can derive from the Shulchan Aruch, from the Jewish Book of Laws, that a guy can sometimes keep Shabbos. That there is a situation, so it comes out from the Book of Laws, that sometimes a guy could keep Shabbos. There could be a guy that does keep Shabbos. So the question is, what? It says the guy Shabbos is Chayav Misa, he deserves death. Why is he Chayav Misa? Because Shabbos is like our wedding with Hashem. We are like Hashem's wife through Shabbos. And if a guy keeps Shabbos, it's like an adultery. The same thing with Torah. A guy who learns Torah, parts of the Torah that have nothing to do with him, Tumah V'Tara, Kashrus, and he's learning it Be'ir, is Chayav Misa. Why is he Chayav Misa? Because Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe, Moirosha Kilas Yaakov, says my 3 years old, yeah? Morasha comes from what? Morasha means tradition, Morasha also means Me'orasa. The Torah is like our wife. The Torah should be like the man's wife who should love the Torah, sort of delve into Torah, be involved with Torah, like a man loves his wife, so says the Rambam. And if the guy learns Torah, he's like an adulterer. He shouldn't be in there. He should do other things. Very good, we respect him. That's not his turf. So Goyim should not keep Shabbos. So how come sometimes they could? So he says something very interesting. Listen to what he says. The Biur Halacha of the Mishnah Brura answers with the following chiddush. Just like I told you before, in order to become a ger toishov, you should accept upon yourself what? Real halacha, you should accept the 7. But we said already there's a shaila. Maybe only over the Zorah, right? Maybe only the 3 cardinal ones, or maybe all 7. What about a guy who wants to accept 16 and a half mitzvahs? In other words, once it's already, on the menu to have different, mix and match options. So what about a guy who says, I like these mitzvahs? Some Jews would love to have that too, and some of them actually do that. But for us Jew, it's a one package deal, yeah? What about if Tim McKenzie again wants to be Megayer? You know how many times Tim McKenzie was Megayer? Many times. He also died and reborn many times. So Tim McKenzie wants to be Megayer yet again. And Tim McKenzie, are you hearing us, Tim McKenzie? So Tim McKenzie wants to be Megayer, not completely, he wants to say Ger Toshav. To be a full Jew, such a big beard, can't take it. But he wants to be a Ger Toshav. He wants to move to Israel and he loves the Jewish religion. He wants to be a proper Noachide. And let's say he says, I don't only 7. I also like other mitzvahs as well. I like honoring my parents, and I also want to eat kosher because I think it's healthy and nice. Can he do that? Says the Mishnah Berurah, yes. And such a guy can also accept Shabbos upon himself. Unbelievable. Because he's not a guy, he's a Ger Toshav. If a guy, Tim McKenzie, remains a guy and says, I don't keep the Shabbos, maybe I keep them, but I don't accept it on myself, I did not accept it as a deal that I'm now going to Jewish Beis Din, he remains, status-wise, he's a guy. Or maybe also a good guy who keeps the 7, but he did not officially accept it. He's a guy not allowed to keep Shabbos. If you keep Shabbos, that's bad news. But if the Mackenzie says, I want to keep 25 mitzvahs, yeah, he goes to a website with all 613 and he ticks like he did shopping. And one of those mitzvahs is Shabbos, he can do that. Why? Because not a guy. He's a ger toishov. Yeah, get it? So then there could be a situation, the guy didn't have bris milah, Tim McKenzie, and yet what? And yet he can keep Shabbos because he's a ger toishov. So says the Mishnah Berurah. It's a very nice long d'shabir halacha, and that's how you can have a goy, a non-Jew, he's having a goy completely. You can have a non-Jew keeping Shabbos, yeah? Try and, challenge your family at the Shabbos table, how can we have a goy keeping
So
Shabbos?
which mitzvah can't he accept? That would be Bal Tosif.
He can accept all of them except from 613. If he accepted all 613, then he's a Jew already, and then he has to have bris milah as well.
No.
If he did not accept all 613, then he's still a ger toishov. What was your question again?
How can he accept Bal Tosif?
Why not?
Because then by doing extra mitzvahs, he's...
Maybe for him that would be about Tosif. It's a Gemara, right? Excuse me, I'm sorry for stopping.
No, you didn't say so right there.
There's no great news
Okay,
there.
back.
I'm sorry to disappoint
Can I
you.
buy matzah with it? Sure.
Yeah, okay. Jason has a question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Uncle Corey, one mitzvah, out of the 7, I'm surprised I didn't see, was like be fruitful, multiply, for going to have children.
Very good, very good. So the Rishonim ask that why do we say that the other Rishon had 1 mitzvah, 2 mitzvah, 3 mitzvahs? It's not true. He had Pru also, and why is that missing from the list? So the Rishonim answer a very nice feministic answer. Sometimes we get feminist only once in a blue moon, and that is that we're talking about mitzvahs that were given to Adam and Eve. Adam and Chava were given those mitzvahs, but Sheikh, the mitzvah of Pru Revu is not mentioned here because it's a male-only mitzvah. Because in halacha, for both for Jews, Pru Revu is a mitzvah only on men. It's your chiyuv to take a wife and marry her wife, only what she wants, of course, and you have to have children. A woman is not mechuyev to have children if she doesn't want. Conceptually, if a girl wants to stay single her whole life, conceptually, it's not so good, but it's not also, it's okay. It's doable. For a man to want to stay single is not usher. To declare I want to be single my whole life is not right. I want to learn Torah a few years, but just to declare that's it, I'm out of shidduchim, I never want to get married, that is not right for a man because he has to do Pru Revu. But for a girl, it's okay. That's why it's not mentioned here. Now, you're asking if Goyim were commanded? Apparently, I don't think so. Goyim were not commanded in Pru Revu, but Goyim have a different mitzvah. In other words, not all mitzvahs were given before because everything changed after Matan Torah. That's first. Matan Torah changed the rules of games for both us and them. In other words, some mitzvahs we were given. With the Matan Torah, we kept certain mitzvahs and some were added, and everything changed for the Goyim as well, except for the Sheva mitzvahs B'nai Noach. Okay? So, which is a whole sugya, which I'm not going to right now. But, answering your question, the mitzvah of Sheves applies to Goyim. It's a lesser mitzvah. It says in the Navi, Lo tohu bero, la Sheves yitzoro. Hashem did not create the world for tohu, for emptiness. Hashem created the world for la Sheves, in order to have people, populating the world. And therefore, going to should, and that I think applies to both men and women actually, but that's not from Adam Rishon, that people should do their best to populate the land. As opposed to today they say no, that animals are more important than us, and we're trespassers, and we shouldn't really be here at all. So we don't believe in that, and you should aim to have, at least 1, maybe 2 children. Going should have something, yeah? So, okay. So, but asking about Pru Revu, it changed after Matan Torah. We got Pru Revu and they didn't. Yes.
One of the Vedas with the Avodah Zorah was also about sexual transgressions.
Avodah Zorah to do sexual transgression, why?
No sexual transgressions.
True. So, therefore?
Therefore they weren't allowed to do it. Even, I think I don't
No,
know.
they're not. La halacha, everyone agrees you have Sheva mitzvahs, including sexual transgression, yes. No, but according to those opinions who say only of a Zorah, or only cursing, no, then they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yes, according to those 3 opinions, it's a good point. They can steal and they can kill and they can have, but we don't pass it that way. Now, Adam Rishon was commanded only on Avodah Zarah, Anochi, and those things, but not about sexual or other things as well. No, and that's not halacha though. These are opinions that are not halacha. Halacha l'maaseh, guy is not allowed to have relations with his friend's wife or with another man, etc. Okay, so yeah, when Mashiach comes in Sydney, San Francisco, we'll have to go a very big change. Okay, right?
So a guy who goes to the base didn't accept all these mitzvahs. What about his children?
They're not automatically becoming Bnei Noach, no. Alan was asking a good question. If a guy accepted upon himself to become Ger Toshav, it does not automatically apply to the children. It's the same as with Ger Tzedek. No. It's not a family deal. I mean, if they're under a bar mitzvah?
Under the mitzvah.
Oh, so under bar mitzvah, I don't know. We know that by Jews, they become Jewish, and then we ask them again, bar mitzvah, bas mitzvah. By Ger Toshav, I don't know. I don't know if that automatically, if they follow. There are families, I know in Gibraltar, there are people who the husband is a Noachide and the wife is not, vice versa, and they have a lot of Shalom Bayis problems. Because the Noachide side is very much against the Xmas tree and all that stuff, and the other side is obviously very pro the Xmas tree, so that's not pashut. But the kids are not automatically follow. Okay, I don't know. When Mashiach comes, I'm not sure what's going to happen in that respect. Don't know. I have to admit. Says Rashi, I don't know. Okay, but yeah, obviously if they're above bar mitzvah, no, then they're not automatically following the Bagari. Yeah. Okay, now the Gemara is asking a question. Tana Devei Menashe. What did we say about Tana Devei Menashe? Tana Devei Menashe, let's remind ourselves, what did he say? Tana Devei Menashe says there are 7 mitzvahs, but he took out 2, right, and brought another 2 into the picture instead, which are what? Which are Sirus and Kilayim. And he took out Dinim and Birkas Hashem. Okay? So now the Gemara says, what's his source? Tana Devei Menashe, let's go into his sources and see where is he taking what he's saying from. If he's learning properly the pasuk of Vayetzav, that the pasuk, which with from each and every word, basically, we learn one halacha, then if Hanachnami. Then, if he learns Vayetzav, remember, each and every word in Vayetzav taught us something else. So, those mitzvahs should be included. The mitzvahs of Birkas Hashem and Dinim. Eloi Darish Vayetzav, and if he does not learn the pasuk Vayetzav that way, if he, from his rabbis, from his rabbein, he did not accept the pasuk Vayetzav to Adam as to be alluding to all the 7 mitzvahs, then how does he know those 7? In other words, make up your mind. If you learn the pasuk, then you should learn it like us. If you don't learn that pasuk, then maybe Goyim should be scot-free and have 0 mitzvahs. How can you have 7 mitzvahs but different? What's your source? Answers the Gemara. He does not learn. Dorish is not just learn in the Torah. He doesn't extract from each and every word in Vayetzav those laws. He's saying the pasuk is just the pasuk, not alluding to Sheva mitzvahs b'nei Noach. And Hani, those 7, Hani means those, not honey. Hani, those 7 that he does have, Kol Chada v'Chada be'apei nafshei ksiva. Each and every one of the 7 in his list are learned from a different pasuk altogether. He's going to give us 7 different sources, more or less. Each mitzvah has a different source, not from Vayetzav. He's going to have 7 other sources. Let's see. Avodah Zarah v'Gilui Arayos. How do we know Avodah Zarah and Gilui Arayos? We're Daf Nun Zayin Amud Aleph. We just switched now to Nun Zayin Amud Aleph, 57a. Dichtiv. It says about the Mabul, the flood, Vatishachas Ha'aretz Lifnei Ha'elokim. Yeah? It says the land was Vatishachet is like Shchitut. What Shchitut? Corruption. The land was corrupted in front of Hashem, and that's why Hashem said, too much, let's turn the very strong cycle of the washing machine, but a very strong cycle of some good washing machine. The whole world needs to be redone, reprogram the whole system, because it's too mushchat, it's too corrupted. What does corruption mean? Not exactly like we say, well, the way we interpret it. In the yeshiva of Rabbi Shmuel, they said, whenever the Torah mentions the word hashchosa, which is like destruction or corruption, whenever we talk, not like we say corruption with money, no, the word, when the Torah says corruption, means erva, that's sexual misconduct, and idol worship. How do we know that? How do you know that itself? Dvar erva shene'emar ki hishchis kol oso es darkoi each and every flesh was mashkis derech, something to do with flesh, that is with carnal desires. That's boso, carnal, like carne in Spanish, carnal desires. The pasuk that says tashchisum over there, Hashem is warning Bnei Israel, don't be mashchit, don't corrupt your ways, and do like the goyim do. Okay, in other words, that when the Torah says "V'tishachas ha'aretz lifnei Elokim," who are there? Goyim. No Jews yet. Yeah, I mean general people, Bnei Noach, right? Noach's generation. And it says, why did Hashem punish them? Because of what? Because of the Zorah and Gilui Arayos. Voila. So we already have one source. Must be Hashem commanded them somewhere, sometime, not to do it. They were warned not to, and they did it. That's why they were punished. Otherwise, why does He punish them? What's wrong? They're allowed to do it. And therefore, must be. We already have we have one source for two of the mitzvahs. That is erba and avodas kechavim. Okay, and also Rashi also mentioned another point about Hishkas Kol Basar's darkoi. Derech is the proper way of a man being with a woman, because it says derech gever be'alma, a way of a man with a maiden, with an alma. That is called derech. Hishchis as a derech, we would say off the derech. Hishchis derech means we're doing something strange. Like men with animal, instead of going the proper way, the straight way, there's an unstraight thing, and they go the wrong derech. And it has to do with carnal. Hishchis kol basar darko, it must be sexual misconduct. Okay, so now the idach. So that's a very nice source for 2 out of 7 for the Dei Menashe. Now, the question is the idach. The question is the other opinion, meaning the regular opinion, they learned it from Veitzav. Let's just summarize without you get confused. Let's forget about the other opinions. Let's only talk about 2 opinions. We have the classical opinion number 1. We take the pasuk Veitzav Hashem Elokim Sodom Lemor Mikol Etz Hagan Echol Tochel, right? Each and every word or a few words you learn a different mitzvah from. That's one. We have the other opinion of Tana Devei Menashe. He's saying no, this pasuk is just a story, very important story, just a story about Hashem talking to Adam. We don't derive any mitzvahs from there. So he's now on a journey to learn his mitzvahs, his 7 mitzvahs from other sources. But now we all the time have to basically do cross-reference and see those opinions that says, the first classical opinion, that says, Veitzav Hashem Elokim, what are they going to do with his psukim? He's going to bring now out of the hat all kinds of psukim to prove his point. The question is, what the other opinion will do with those psukim? What will they learn from that? So that's called the idach. What would the other opinion learn from that? Urchayu deka megali. Says Rashi, Urchayu deka megali. That one second. It says B'dor Mabul Urchayu megali, to tell you what the did. Megali means it's revealing to you. The pasuk is just giving you information about what they did. But really the source is from Adam Arishon. The pasuk told you, you know why they were punished? Because they did this and that. But that's not the source for the halacha. That's the story. By Adam Arishon, it's telling you, Adam, don't do A, B, C, D, F, G. In the story of the Mabul, it tells you, well, they did wrong, therefore they were punished. It's not the source, according to you. That's the outcome. Okay? Shfichus damim. So now we have to find a source for the third one. Shfichus damim, killing human beings, spilling blood. Dichtiv shoyfech dam ha'odam, the odam damay yishofech. Okay? So we see clearly the one. It says in Noach after the Mabul, when he came out of the ark, it says shoyfech dam ha'odam, the odam damay yishofech. The one who spills the blood of human being, his blood, of course, after a sentence, after a trial, his blood should be spilled in court. Okay, so that's a nice source to tell me, according to Tana Devei Menashe, that killing is forbidden. Ve'idach. What would the other opinion do with that? It says again, Ktalayu hu de kamegali. It's telling you, like we told you before, it's telling you how they're going to be killed. In other words, the fact that it's asur, the fact that it's forbidden to a goy to kill, that we know from Adam. Now it's telling you, if the goy killed, you know how he gets killed? What's his punishment? Shpichus dam, by spilling the blood, which is by the sword. Out of the 4 accepted executions, it's a sword. That's all, but it's not the source for the actual avera. Number 4. We're now in number 4. That is what? Gezel, theft. How do you know that goyim are not allowed to steal? Dichtiv, and that is, later, it says, Yerek esef nasati lachem, is called le'ochlo. You remember when Noach was the first person who was allowed to not be a vegetarian. The first carnivorous was Noach, and it says Ke'erek Esev, you're allowed to eat kol remes, you're allowed to eat all the different shrotzim, like the Oriental people. You can eat whatever you want, as if it was just the vegetable or the fruit. Okay, so how do we learn from here, Gezel? Let's see. The Omar Rav Levi, Ke'erek Esev, v'lo Ke'erek Gina. Yerek Esev means weeds. Esev is something that grows in the wilderness, out of town, out of a property, and not Yerek Gina. Yerek Gina is something that grows in the garden. People actually gardened and took care of it. So the pasuk is alluding to the fact you can eat anything that is Yerek Esev, anything that's hefker. You're not allowed to eat your neighbor's vegetables without permission. That's allusion to the fact that they're not allowed to be gozel, to steal. And again comes the question, Ve'idach, the other opinion, what is it going to do with that pasuk? I will mishri baso hu de oso. All this pasuk is coming to say is what? Nothing to do with ownership. It's just coming to tell you basar. It comes to tell you the basic information of you are from now on allowed to eat flesh, to eat basar, and you don't have to be vegetarian like the 10 generations before you. There are many reasons for that. Why is it Noach was was allowed to eat basar? Maybe if we have time we'll get there, maybe today, I doubt it, we'll see. Ever minachai. What's the source for Ever minachai? How do you know that goyim are not supposed to eat from live flesh of the animal, of a live animal? Domoy lo tochelu. Basal benafshoy, domo lo tochelu. Basal benafshoy, yet when the basar is still benafshoy, when the animal is still alive, don't eat it. The other opinion, what is going to do with that? The other opinion will tell you that you're allowed to eat shrotzim, and we'll go more into the shrotzim. Basically, according to this opinion, a shrotzim you're allowed to eat them alive. In other words, boso benafshoy is something that has the importance of a nefesh, dam, that's a chosh of an animal. But a small sheretz can be eaten alive. So according to that opinion, it is allowed, but that's a question. Sirus, let's just finish the list for now, for today. How do you know that sirus, castration, is not allowed? You see, it says, Jason, you should be happy now. It says to Adam, you should multiply in the land, which means not that you have to have kids, but at least don't do anything not to have children. By the way, the Gemara in Shabbos talks about the fact that even women should not be, so to speak, castrated. Let's say hysterectomy is shaila when it's allowed, because you can't just have a woman not to have children just for the fun of it, just for anything. The other opinion says, no, this pasuk is not a commandment, it's a bracha. Have a lot of kids, Hashem is giving them a bracha, but it's not a commandment. Kilayim, how do you know that kilayim, that to combine two animals together, is also? When Hashem spoke to Noach, he told him, bring the of lamineu, bring each species of birds to its own species separately, not together. So you see, you're not allowed to mix them together. The other opinion says, it's just to say, make sure each bird stays with its own kind. Birds of a feather flock together. In other words, it's just a good recommendation from Hashem. When Noach is building his boat, he should have each species to itself, because the tzeves, it's nice for them to be together. According to him, only 3 out of the 7 the Ben Noach is killed on. Only if the Ben Noach committed any of the 3 cardinal sins, he gets killed on them, otherwise no. But the halacha is not. Halacha is very strict on that. The halacha, even if a guy steals, he gets killed. Yeah. If we know did it for sure, with the judgment and everything, with the trial, that's okay. Thank you very much.